All right, here we go, you guys. It's been a minute since I've done a little planner video, but here we are. Full disclosure, I wanted to start doing some of this content here on this channel more as just like a fun creative outlet, not necessarily for specifically anything to do with my regular content surrounding functional nutrition and fitness coaching, but also because I found like just a lot of fun new friends online on Instagram on the planner community. And part of this has been really a great creative outlet for me, as well as a helping me keep my brain organized. And I've had some realizations. And so I think that the last time that I talked to you guys, it was when I was switching from using my Hobonichi Weeks and Hobonichi Cousin setup to using this beautiful Papertess Designs B6 planner, this yearly notebook. And I love this planner. I have this in currently a just a zip Moterm cover. And part of the reason I love this planner so much, one, is because the cover is beautiful, although it's definitely, you can see it's been a little bit well loved. And the paper is great. And I loved how it had sort of this like pseudo weeks setup with 7 daily pages, room for 7 different days in like the back of like a planner, right? So I had a lot of fun getting into this at the end of February, at the beginning of March, and I did back plan just a little bit. But one thing that I've been doing in this is I've had a couple spreads where I really just like botched the setup. And so I redated a couple of the blank spreads at the beginning of the week. And so like, for example, this was a really great week. This was just at the beginning of May. And I love using a event overview, a personal to-do list. And then I love doing this timeline style in the same day, because for me, when I'm going back and I'm doing my journaling for the day, I don't always remember like, okay, what did I do this day, right? What did I do? And this helps me kind of come back to and see, oh, this is what the day entailed. And I don't pre-plan these timelines. This is just sort of me keeping track of things as they go. Now, one thing that happened recently in the month of May is one, I felt myself getting the itch to change book for no reason other than I just like to play with new stuff. So this was this week specifically, and this was really a great week too. I got this new washi tape from Arch Michael on Etsy, if you have not checked her stuff out. And again, just really loving this. Now you'll see this gets a little empty, and I'll explain here why in a moment. So I'm realizing that I'm very much like a quarterly planner flip type of person. Now I love the flexibility of this, but even sometimes like this, I was putting too many things here, and at one point this did not work for my brain, right? This was too many things to kind of come back to as the week, but I do like having my personal and my work kind of all in one. And I do like this book because I have some annual collections in the back, and what I'm realizing I need is sort of a series of like undated, unstructured options, along with like one notebook where I can kind of keep some annual logs in, because I don't look at those annual logs every single day. I maybe update them once a week, every 2 weeks, things like that. And so what I'm probably going to end up doing with this planner is just come back and like redate it when I want to come back into this layout, into this paper, because I absolutely think it's gorgeous. I definitely want to use up the space in this book, but I will either kind of come back to it, at some point during the year, or if I end up not finishing it this year, I may just come back and redate it. I know Papertess, she's a smaller shop. I kind of really hope that she comes out with an undated option, because that would be an absolute dream. Because what I ended up doing was I was in my Hobonichi Weeks for a little while, for about 3 months. And then I was like a Hobonichi Weeks, Hobonichi Cousin, and then realized very quickly that that wasn't going to work. I needed one book, and then I moved into this. And so it's like, and then prior to that, I was bullet journaling in a Archer and Olive notebook for a few months. And so you see, I'm sort of like in every 3 months, I like to have a new option. A couple of other notebooks that I've set up since then is I decided I needed to have one annual book for my health. And so I actually ended up setting up this Sweet Freckle Designs weekly diary. I have a couple of these. These are undated. And I set these up so I could get like a monthly overview of my training, my sleep, some health goals. And then I've actually loved bringing this with me to the gym because I'm able to track my actual workouts on this side and then see what exactly I did the week before. And then I can track, just see my macros overview, any notes, or sometimes I'm experiencing steps in sleep. And then in the monthly view, I can sit down and look at it. So every year, I think I'm going to end up setting up like an annual health tracker. Will I use my other one next year? Probably not, because this just has more notes pages in it. And in the back here, I just kind of have some like daily notes logs of things, which I'm realizing I need really like this much space per day to just kind of write down what are my thoughts on how I'm feeling this day and what are things I need to keep track of. More so because if I sit down and reflect on it, it actually helps me process it. Not so much because I need to come back and look at it. I just need a space to be able to process and make that connection to my body and how I'm feeling, right? And so this is this week, and then I'll have room for a weekly recap, but this is just too many pages for like this. So I think that she's actually coming out with a non-full year size with a few less notes pages in the back. But I love this setup for just a weekly overview of my stats and then my workouts for this week, right? So like these were all my workouts for this week, and I actually need to come through here and real quick just highlight. Oh, where did my gray? Here we go. I like to just highlight the dates because it makes it easier for me as I'm flipping back and forth visually. And I think I might pick up a couple of these that are the smaller version because I think that would actually be perfect. And this is really small to throw in my gym bag, and it's very unobtrusive to just sit on my desk if I'm doing this. It's a very easy book to come in and out of, although I don't think I'm going to do these tabs again because these are kind of flimsy and they're starting to catch a little bit. So I'm going to fill this one in for the rest of the year. If I finish all the pages, awesome. I probably won't. And I'm going to pick up a couple of pre-orders of her one that is smaller, just so I have them on deck for next year, because I don't really like the Hobonichi weeks because it has just, I don't like the colors. I realized too, I just don't like the colors of the Hobonichi planners. I think they're beautiful planners, but like I need something that's very neutral, very bare bones in order to let my brain breathe, because I will fixate on, like, for example, in the Hobonichi Cousin, the literal reason why I wanted to stop using it was because of the color of these daily pages. Like I used it all of like February and I was like, oh, this is great. I absolutely love this. And then we hit March and I was like, it's purple. It's freaking purple. And I was like, I can kind of get behind this, but I also need it to not be one color. And so I've been using this more for like scratch paper than anything, which it's a really great notebook just to have on hand for like scratch paper, right? Like today I filled out and tried a new pen. And so it's kind of it'll maybe kind of cool, turn into like a cool collection. I thought I was going to try to maybe keep up with certain things and backdate it. But, I'll probably also use the monthly layouts here and there for if I need to get like a good overview of a month of what's going on, things like that. But I'm not going to get another one of these because I cannot stand these colors. Like this to me is absolutely horrifying, and I will fixate on this and I will not be able to focus on what a planner is supposed to help me do, which is get shit done. So I just have it here off to the side. It's a great scratch notebook, and it's going to stay that way. So I'm really excited to pick up a couple of these, but in this smaller size that she has on, or I think pre-order right now on her website. So I actually need to go maybe do that this afternoon because this is beautiful, but like I know I won't need all these pages. And I love this for like a health tracker. It's so small, it's so compact, it tosses into my gym bag perfectly. It will be very easy to keep with me when I travel. And I just love that I can put some very minimal deco at the bottom, to be completely honest, which is super fun. But then these weeks will be very bare bones. Like this is like all I've been doing. It's very easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, moving on. Another book that I set up was this little pocket notebook. It's not like a specific brand. It's literally just like whatever brand was on Amazon that I said I wanted some pocket notebooks. And this is my end of day report log. Now I won't show you what's in it, but essentially I have it set up to where I can just put the date, and I do like a business end of day report. It's not something that I necessarily like have to keep digitally. I just like to have a space to say, these are the things that I did today. And if I didn't accomplish my goals, what were the barriers? And again, it's just a space similar for this on a daily basis where I can scribble down specific to my health, where I can scribble down specific to my business and different aspects of it that maybe went well or didn't go well. And I just have this. So I started this and I love this. I do have I set it up with some cute like washi, like exhale the bullshit. I love that. And set this up with some cute, just a cute little, and then this is my sort of page marker. I do use a Midori index clip, but I also love just having this because I have a sticky note on it on the back with some things of like, what are the things I need to include on my end of day report? And what are some things that I maybe need to reflect on? Like, what are questions I need to ask myself on a daily basis, how I showed up within my business and as a coach. So this is just my end of day. And I love that it's so tiny. Again, very portable. I just toss it in my bag or it just sits on my desk. So I'm not in this book for very long every day, but I'm in this, I'd say 5-6 days out of the week if I'm working. And sometimes I will, skip a day or two, but then I kind of come back because doing an end of day report is one of my KPIs. I do track if I did an end of day report, but then if I need to come back and look at any stats, I do have those in here. And then if I do need to look at anything at the end of the month for KPIs and go, what did I actually do this week? Everything is here, but I need a very analog system for reflection. And so that's why I have this. And then this is just a cute little sticker that I thought went well with it. So that's it. Okay. So now another thing that I did is I have a bullet journal that's a book journal, not a bullet journal, but a book journal. And I'll show you guys one moment. So my friend Rachel is an incredible artist. And I actually hired her. I paid her to set up this B5 Archer and Olive notebook as a book journal. Look how beautiful. But it's mostly for 2023, right? And I do need to come back and catch up in it. Like, just, gosh, gorgeous. But what I didn't have was an analog, was a journal for the books that I read in like 2021 and 2022. And I realized that when we were getting towards the end of 2022, I wanted more time. I wanted to slow down and I wanted to reflect more on the books that I was consuming, because I read like over 250 books in 2021 and 2022. And without even like trying, without even realizing. And so I have this book for 2023, which has been beautiful. And I've loved getting into this, and I have space to put down quotes and what are my thoughts. I get to rate it. And it's just, gosh, look at how beautiful this journal is. But I wanted to set something up for my books that I read for the years prior. So of course I tracked everything on Goodreads. And I made this B6. I love these B6 nostalgies, you guys. I just love them. And so I made just a cute book where I could kind of go back, and I started printing all of the book covers so I can put them down. And then I, once a week or so, and I've got almost all of them for 2021 in here. I've got like half of the ones for 2021 in here. And I like it because I don't have to do a book per page. I can put like an entire series on like this was like a 4-book book, it had 4 books in it, or like, where'd it go? I have sticky notes, ignore those. This was a series that I read, and I just want to reflect on the series overall. Like, I don't need to do like an in-depth on each book. I just want to come back through and kind of reflect on these books. What I've been doing is going on and like just looking stuff up online to kind of like jog my memory if I need to. And then I just do a little journal about it. Although some things definitely stuck with me, like these books, and it doesn't need to be super in-depth. It's just a great way for me to reflect on it. And I have slowed down reading a bit in 2023. I have a lot of books that I've started and not finished this year. Not that I think that they're DNF books. I think I'm going to come back and finish them. I just think that I'm trying to slow down and be more intentional, and I'm trying to let go of how fast do I finish this book. Just because this book came out doesn't mean I need to read it right now. Just being more intentional with my consumption of my reading. And so like, for example, even too, like this was my whole reflection and feelings on the ACOTAR series, right? Now, do I love how this spread turned out? Not really, but it was more so about just like giving myself space and like having a place to reflect on how these books made me feel, right? Again, this one, I remember reading this book and it stuck with me. And I'm like, wow, I just want to be able to like honor those stories and where they're living in my head. This and this one were like some of the first books I read. I read this in a book club and that was really fun. I have this whole spread. I'm so excited for this little spread here for like Shadow and Bone. If anybody remembers the blue alien craze, yeah, we did that one. We did that one too. Those are the only ones I read of this series. And then what's cool in the front is I have my book rating and like spice rating, if that makes sense. And then just a cute. So I'm very excited for this. I'm still going to continue filling this in, but this is a really great place for me to just reflect on the books that I past read. So this will be like 2021, 2022, and then it'll be like 2023, you know what I mean? And so that way I have everything together. And the reason I did this in a smaller book was because I just love these B6 so much. And I love how fluffy they get when you fill them up. And I love that I can sticker it up. And when I do another book journal in the future, it will probably be similar to this setup because I do prefer this, I think, over this, just because I do like to take my stuff with me and like go to a coffee shop or go to a bookstore. And this is just very big to carry around, if that makes sense. So that's just might be my preference, but I am so excited to feel, because gosh, look how beautiful that is. Like, can you just imagine like how satisfying this is going to be once it's like, oh, look how gorgeous this is going to be to reflect back through. And I did like share some stuff here. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to print the covers of these books also and just like put them in here before I fill in the quotes, because I want to make sure that I do this. And so some of them too, like, I don't remember like when I started, I did write down when I stopped and started. So I'm like filling them in as I go. So I remember to come back and reflect on them. And I actually need to come back for March and April. But March and April is when I started a lot of stuff and didn't finish it. So I need to go back and see what's currently like unfinished in my library and figure out what I'm actually going to finish. But like, just look how beautiful these pages are. Gosh, she's so talented. I told her, I said, I want to be able to reflect on how the books made me feel and what they made me think and what stuck out to me. And I was like, and this is what I want to do. And so she made me 100 pages. Because even if I read half as many, I've already read 76 books so far this year, guys. So I'm going to fill this up to at least here. This is why I said I need to go back and like backdate some of this. And I've sort of slowed down on my reading consumption because I want to take the time to reflect before I continue on. And I've been craving the time to reflect. And that's part of the process of journaling, I feel like, for me. Okay. So there's those two. Where are we at? 17 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one book that I am definitely going to finish for this year. Hold on. I need to take a quick coffee sip. Here we go. So good. I've been doing oat milk and a little bit of vanilla stevia when I make coffee at home. This is decaf because it is the afternoon. I got to stick it back on my coffee warmer. Hopefully the audio is good. I'm actually recording this video and the audio on two separate devices. So I'm actually recording the audio through my microphone and audio interface that I use to record the podcast. And that's been really fun. So this is, okay, so let's jump into this. So this is my Sterling Ink Comment Planner. I've just kept it in this B6 Mo term because this is just where it seems to live. I actually tried switching this up at one point and putting this in the zip cover, and it just did not work because it's getting so fluffy. You guys, look how fluffy and satisfying this is. So as you guys know, I journal every day. In the month space, I do a memory a day. Gosh, there was April. Look how pretty April is, minus my ink splashes. And then this is May. I do use the Sterling ink sticker kits. And so this has been really fun. I've been doing this style since November, and I actually have November in my old Archer and Olive bullet journal that I used during kind of quarter 4 of last year. And then I do like a page a day, give or take. Sometimes I like skip, accidentally when I'm stickering, I skip over a page and then I kind of glue pages together. But like, this is just okay. Sorry about that, you guys. My iPad that I was using as the little viewfinder for my camera, it went to sleep and then it stopped recording, and I need to figure that out. That was the first time I was trying it, so clearly that is not the way to go. I'm just going to have to trust that if I stay on this mat, that I will stay on camera. But what I was saying is I journal like a page a day, and this is just a brain dump. There's nothing like really oversensitive in here, so I don't mind like sharing it. This is just like my thoughts, my feelings, my reflections about how I feel about certain things. And wow. Like, it's just, I love flipping through this and seeing, like, you can even see March, like, I was really in a depressive episode in March. And so you can tell, like, I did way less journaling. And then to make myself feel better, I, like, stickered the shit out of this page. But you could even see, like, the fact that I can't recall what this day entailed besides a date night and lots of reading has me worried. I am not okay, but I know I will be. Like, that's just what was in my head and on my heart today. And I did end up like kind of coming out of this. I made a lot of progress. And then clearly we're feeling better. You know what I mean? Like, I was very proactive because thankfully with the knowledge that I have of functional health and physical health, I was able to implement a lot of like strategies regarding supplementation. I was able to do research, and I'm really good at going through research and like figuring out, okay, what's actually applicable in these situations, what's worth trying, what's safe to try, things like that. So I was able to kind of use that on myself. February was so fun because I had these little, I need to bring these back out. I love these little stamp washies. From Lauren Phelps Designs. Like, it's just so fun to flip through this and you just see. So I actually started December in here. I did my weeklies in December. My weekly pages are usually affirmations. So I'm filling in affirmations. I use the I Am app to help me kind of come up with affirmations. And that's been nice. Sometimes I skip over them. Sometimes I don't. Like, look how fun this is. And so you can kind of see like where I take more time or less time to fill things in. And like, this is just, again, I didn't do like anything this week because again, I was having like just a horrible depressive episode, like end of February going into March, and you can tell like, and for me, it's amazing to look back on where I am and where I've come and like how far I've gone. And even seeing this ink, like, it reminds me of like, oh, I was really trying to find like a really pretty pink ink that I liked. Unfortunately, this ink clogs every single freaking pen I try to put it in. I swear. And it's a beautiful ink from Ferris Wheel Press. And I normally love their inks, but there is so much shimmer in it that it clogs every nib that I try to put it in. And then we're like, okay, back to again, end of March, we're kind of coming back to normal. You know what I mean? And so we can see this progress. And I just love how every page has like a different feel and a different vibe. And oh, here's some fresh stuff. Look at this, is such pretty washi that I got from Arch Michael. And then this is washi that my friend Elise, who's Glory Plans on Instagram, she sent me a little care package. We're like planner besties, and we've sent each other, like, I've sent her a little care package, she sent me one, and it's just fun to like have people that get it. And so then this is this next week, so I know this week I want to use my blue ink in here because I've been craving using my blue ink again, and I keep a brown, a blue, and a green currently inked and just attached. And this is part of why I love this planner, because I can throw a few different colors of ink into a few different pens and keep them hooked to this, which is really quite nice. So, and because it has the double snap closure, like, I can get it snapped to the first snap with it being as chunky as this with my pens attached. And this keeps everything nice and secure. So I love this planner as a journal. I'm sure I will use a similar journal again next year because I like having my journal as a separate notebook. It's fun for me to take this out. I will very likely get another 2023 common planner again, or even a Papertess Designs would work because it's got the monthlies where I could do I could do the memory a day. And then on the weekly, on that like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I could just do one affirmation a day, because sometimes doing my affirmations in this takes a long time and I don't really need to write 5 or 6. I just like to fill up the space if I'm able to be completely honest. And I like the idea of being able to just do like one a day. And then it has 7 pages per week where I could then do my like daily journaling in that book, which I think is kind of a cool concept. So I might switch to something like that. Okay. Now, what am I currently using? Okay. So this is what happened. This is what happened from an actual functional planning perspective. I did thankfully recently onboard a new team member who's helping me out with a lot of stuff. And so that forced me to switch a lot of my task management for my business. Keep in mind, I use my notebooks for work and personal things, right? Especially work, just to help me keep organized, to keep me grounded. And if everything for me is on the computer, I really disconnect. Now, I really rely heavily on my Google Calendar. I don't really rely on like, you can see like, if you look at my May monthly, May is like empty. Because I was putting my health stuff in May, and then I transferred that all into this notebook, right? If there was like a weird skip there, it's because I just accidentally paused my recording and then did it again. This video is not going to be fun to edit, you guys. I'm just going to put that out there right now. But I'm committed. I want to get this out because I just really feel the need to have this outlet this week. I've moved all my health stats into this notebook. So like you'll see, here's like my March health stats. And I was doing monthly habit trackers, which again, in the month of March, really actually hindered me mentally rather than helped me. And I didn't even finish this tracker here, but I'm going to transfer all that data into this notebook, and this will be like my annual health book. Okay. And honestly, might even put my other like annual trackers that are back here. Like I keep like my date night log and like my period log, like in the back here. That honestly could probably go into here too. And this would be like my annual health log plus a few collections, because that's just, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And what ended up happening is all of this space ended up feeling very overwhelming. And I was really craving kind of going back to like a more bullet journal style method. And I had already ordered, because I started moving everything into ClickUp and started setting up like a bunch of automations. And that's been really helpful. And it is been helpful from like a task planning standpoint, like being able to see how everything stacks up in a week, or when do I need to start a task and how long is it in progress? How many days do I need to give myself to work on this project or that project? It's actually been really beneficial, but I still need like a notebook to write stuff down in. So sometimes I will need to look at my tasks for the day and write down, okay, this is what I absolutely have to get done as I'm looking for through today and through the week, because I will migrate stuff over. Sometimes I will, like, I'm looking at my ClickUp for Monday and I'm going, there's no way I'm going to get all of this stuff done on Monday. So tomorrow what I'll do is I'll say, okay, these are the things that I absolutely have to get done today. And those are the priority things. And then everything else can get moved off of a day or two. Well, I actually had ordered a while back a notebook from Planner Monkey Co. because of the A6 size. Now, I really like the concept of an A6 size, and I actually really wanted to order a Hobonichi A6 Techo, which is kind of much more neutral than like the Cousin or even the Weeks, but still it was a dated planner. And as I kind of realized, I need more of an undated plethora of options to choose from, because it seems that my style is I like to kind of switch things up every few months. Now, I fully attribute this to my ADHD and the fact that I need something kind of new and shiny to sort of switch in and out of. And so I bought this A6 Freely Noted. This is just a plain A6 notebook. I love how tiny and compact it is. But I also got... or Estelle had some undated notebooks out. Now, I hate pink. I mean, I don't hate pink. I just dislike pink. Even like my nails are pink right now. And the only saving grace is that I stuck some decals on them that are black. Otherwise, I don't like pink. And I will probably cover these up with something like I will probably print a new cover and like sticker paper it and then slide them into some clear covers, similar to what I did for the Hobonichi Cousin. Because again, I thought the cover was ugly. And I did a similar thing to this A5 Midori notebook, which is also just a blank notebook right now. I sort of repurposed it into just a blank notebook. I actually really hate this color paper. I've just realized I'm not a cream paper person, and that's totally fine. The only place it really doesn't bother me is in this tiny notebook, because I don't know. I don't know why it doesn't bother me in here. This is a little less yellow though. This is a very light cream, and I'm really only in it for like maybe 10 minutes a day, and then I put it away. Anyway, these are the complete weekly verticals, and I did get one in A5 because I do find myself sometimes wishing that I had a bigger notebook, or I want to go back to the Hobonichi because I do like the A5 size. I just don't like that layout. And I realized that one thing that I really love is this vertical, right? Just like I had in the not the Aura Estelle, the B6 Papertess, this like timeline on my dailies. I love having this timeline to kind of look through as the day goes on and to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. So even like here, right, what I'll do here, and I have this inked up with a really beautiful, it's Robert Oster Violet. I have this inked up here where like, when did I start working on this? Like 4:30. I'm going to just write, recording YouTube, and I'll probably like record and edit and like cut myself off at like 6:30 because I need to do some chores at home and not spend a ton of time on this today. I love having this, and as you can see, I kept sort of like a brain dump of everything as the day goes on. So even yesterday, like I had a lot of this stuff was in my ClickUp, but sometimes I have stuff come up that's like just a one-off thing. That's like a small thing that I'm like, I don't need to go through the whole process of creating a task in ClickUp, assigning a due date, blah, blah, blah. I just need a spot. Or so I will do like my morning inbox check-in, which is where like I go to ClickUp, I double check, see if there's any tasks that have been assigned to me that I need to look at. I see what do I need to really prioritize for the day. And then that's what's get written down here. And then I can focus, because here's the thing. If I'm constantly coming back and like messing in that app, there's so many different views in there, I get overwhelmed. So I like sort of like a morning and like an afternoon, like sweep of it. And like, that's it. Everything else is going to happen in here. And so this is very much going back to like my bullet journal roots. Like I cut down a little pencil board and put some sticky notes on it, but look how beautiful. I have it in a little A6 Mo term with some page flags, a little washi thing, my little thing here from, don't even remember where I got this. Sweet Freckle Designs die cut, I believe. And I love this cover. This cover is just it's thick. It's beautiful. I put a couple of things on here to hold some stickers, added a cute sticker there, and did a little cover page. I did a little key, a little grid info, and then like a small index. I'm not like a very detailed indexer. Like I just said like page 2 to 7, week of May 8th. Like that's probably as detailed as this index is going to get, because now I've realized that like meeting notes and things that I do for that, I usually need to keep those in a Google Doc, because like I have running meetings with certain people over and over and over again, and I need to have all the information housed in one place. But like any tasks that come from that meeting, so I just need to keep an eye of like, okay, where did this week go? And so I set up my personal to do. I set up my schedule for the week similar to how the Hobonichi week style. I love this horizontal weekly for just an overview. And then I pulled in from May 8th, because this is all from, remember when I said you'll see what happened? This was all from this week, which I'm sad because I love this layout. This is just a gorgeous layout, but even as visually appealing as it was to me, it was overwhelming for everything that I had going on. I just needed something much simpler, much smaller. And I pulled this in, and I'm just kind of doing some dailies, right? And I have like, oh, I need to add this to ClickUp. So like, as I'm flipping through this, then I can pull things in and out of my digital things as I need them. And then I still have my timeline. So like if I'm doing my journaling at the end of the day or the day after, I can go, what did I do this day? What did I do? And then I can kind of come back and see, oh yeah, I remember what was going on that day. And so I started setting up this next week, and, this is where I'm at. I've got my week this week. I'll fill in my events that I currently have planned. And I do keep, track as things get canceled and added. in here as well as on my Google Calendar. And I have a Google Calendar because I get invites to like 4 different email addresses, and I pull it all into like my iCal. So I have everything in one place, and that's sort of my master calendar. And it's why I don't really use a monthly planner like at all. And then I will pull in, I've got stuff from here that I will still do today. And then on Monday, when I do like my inbox check-in, I'll move my personal stuff over. I will move over anything that's like still like an open task that I need to, like, this is an open task, but I did it. So like I can like cross it off. This is an open task, but I still need to do it. So that's going to get moved over. I like did this, you know what I mean? So I can just go through. I like to do a big circle for something that's like open and need like, oh, I need to come back to this. That's just sort of my signal of like, hey, dummy, don't forget. And then I usually, when I'm in this list, an asterisk here is a personal task that I'm pulling in. So I can just differentiate between personal and business. I don't have to create different lists. So like this is personal. This is personal. This is personal. You know what I mean? But then again, it's a Sunday, so it should all mostly be personal. Although this was work. This is personal, personal, personal. This one's personal. And so is this one. So very little work today. This one's personal. And this was the only work thing. And then my socials, I already did. And I had that stuff in ClickUp, so I really didn't need to pull it in. But I did kind of like write it down over here. So I do sort of a hybrid planning system. And there's no real like hard and fast rules, but it does help me stay organized. And then this is going into this week. And like, I love this like sticker here. This is from the cute little kit that my friend Elise sent me, and she sent me all these stickers, and she did give me the link on Amazon to where she found these stickers. But like, how gorgeous are these? And I'm waiting for these like little passport sticker books to come back in, because these are from the Traveler's Notebook, because I want to get a couple more of these and then send her back one, since she sent me this one. Right, so like I just want to like get that in there. But I'm loving this right now. I know that I'm eventually going to maybe want to be in something bigger. And this is where these complete weekly verticals come in. Now, what's funny is I actually convinced my friend Taylor to get one of these, because she's like, I need just like a monthly, weekly overview. I'm like, no, I totally get it. And she's not really like a daily planner like me. But the reason I like that these appeal to me, one, is they're completely undated, you guys. And again, as we've discussed, I either need like a blank notebook or an undated planner. Now, I'm probably going to use it by the year of 2026. So what I can see myself doing is coming in here, and it's fun because it has like the quarterly, like I will probably switch book quarterly, I'm guessing. So like whatever quarter I come into this one in, like I might come into this one in July because I'm traveling a decent chunk in June, and I can see myself coming back at the beginning of July, again, traveling a decent chunk over the summer. What am I going to want to have? Something really portable. Like if I can just take these 3 books with me, like this is really great. And if I'm traveling and I'm out, this little tiny A6 will fit very nicely into any of my purses, which is part of the reason why I wanted to have the option of having a smaller book, because while this is also very nice for traveling, this is also just bigger. So here we go. There's that guy, my little A6. And I love this teal. I'm realizing I really love these jewel tones for these planner covers. Not that I don't love like a good neutral planner cover, but I don't know what it is with these Moterm covers, man. This teal, and then granted, a lot of the neutral colors were out, but I'm kind of glad that they were, because man, I just love them. Because I do love like this taupe. Like this is pretty. This is pretty, but it doesn't like make my heart beat as fast as like this does. This planner's saving grace is the fact that when I open the inside, it's extremely beautiful to look at. And so there's that, just the way my brain works. There's no rhyme or reason. That has this sort of, I love this Aura Estelle undated, because it's got the quarterly like sort of overview or log, right? For example, they have a similar setup in like the Hobonichi weeks or like a Calendex. And so it's got enough for a full year, which is nice. And then it's got 12 monthly layouts. So it's got a monthly layout and then 2 blank pages, a monthly layout, and then like 2 blank pages, which is great for like if you need like a monthly brain dump, or like I need to scribble out priorities for this week. So I can starting to see myself. I've been craving maybe having use of a monthly, solely for the fact, and this is where like I might pop into my Hobonichi week sort of as needed, because I sometimes need to see, like, I've again had a lot of changes within my business, and from a productivity standpoint, I've had to like redo essentially, what do I do week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 within my business? What are the big picture things that are getting done every single month, especially with marketing, right? I have my Instagram page, I have my podcast, I have to record all of the assets, I have to do a lot of the editing and stuff like that. I have to do like my end of month tasks, right? At the beginning of the month, I have to do my KPI data, financials and stuff like that from the previous month. So like month 1, week 1 and week 4 are very like admin task heavy. Week 2, week 3 are very marketing and socials heavy. And how do I keep track of that? Also in the context of like, what appointments and things like that and events do I have coming up? What projects, what am I working on from a freebie for this quarter? Because I'm doing a quarterly freebie now where I'm offering something to my community, and that comes up, that includes, I have to write a bunch of emails, right? I have to write some nurturing emails. I have to write a sequence for after people opt in. I have to actually set up the freebie. What are the details? And I have to send that to a designer, because I do have a designer that's helping me with some of this stuff, because it's going to take me way longer to mess around in Canva when I also have all this other marketing stuff to do. I have a podcast that one of my goals is to get a podcast episode out every single week, but then I also cross post it here to the channel for my community members who are deaf and hard of hearing and prefer to have a captioned option, right? So that's where we're at. So I just feel like every now and then just having a blank monthly just to like brain dump a bunch of shit would be really beneficial. And I'll probably utilize my Hobonichi cousin while in the year of 2023, because I have a bunch of blank dated monthlies, but I can see myself every quarter maybe kind of coming in here, doing an overview of, all right, this is what needs to happen. And then what's cool is then it has the weekly layouts. So it's literally and it's a Monday start, which I always do a Monday start because that's when my week starts. It has a this week column, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, with completely undated or no timeline or timestamp. And it's very, again, blank, very bare bones. And I like the idea of sometimes having like a bigger notebook. So like, for example, too, sometime in quarter 3, I'm likely going to be having like a one-on-one intensive with my mentor. And I'm going to want to be able to like see and lay out and like plan things out, especially like this. So like I can see myself coming into this book in July or August. Whereas I'll probably stay in my little one for a little while. And then I got this in a B6 size too, because I just love B6 size, right? And so here's the B6 like weeklies as compared to the A5 weeklies. So I just love also the option of maybe having a smaller book for this. But again, it's undated. So it's very like low risk. Like if I can literally come into this for a week, if I'm realizing, okay, this doesn't work, I can move into a different book, and it's an NBD because it's a completely undated planner, and I can just pop in and out of them as I see fit. I'm also interested in getting a couple Sterling Ink undated planners, but maybe like the 6-month versions, because again, I'm probably gonna like hop around to multiple books. And I like that one because it has also all of the daily undated note pages. Now this planner is unique because it doesn't have any daily pages. It just has a weekly thing, right? So it just has 2 blank pages. So I could very easily split this down the middle and do like a bunch of daily logs. But then I also have like my timeline here that I like to be able to just, as the day goes on, track what I'm doing. Or let's say I'm doing like a project and I want to just project plan in a book. I need to work on, because I'm actually going to be creating a course, which I'm very excited about. And you guys might start hearing about that if you follow me on Instagram, come like quarter 3, quarter 4, because it will probably be launching in like quarter 1 or quarter 2 of 2024. And I need to plan, and I need a space just to work on that project. And I say, okay, these are the things that I need to do, and this is the week that I need to do it. And I just need to say, okay, this week and this project, I need to do all these things, and this is the day that it's getting done, and these are the notes that I have for it, right? So again, this is very versatile and very like bare bones, and I can see myself using this and then just splitting this and then just have like my running daily log as the week goes on, because I would be able to fit a daily log, 1 per day, on this A5 2-page spread. You know what I mean? I'm one of those people where it's like, if this is the space I'm given, I will make it fit. I will make it work. And I just won't like rewrite things. You know what I mean? So like how I'm doing in my little A6 notebook. Oh, where'd you go? You're over here. Because I don't have like a ton of room, that's why when there's something open that I'm like, oh, hey, I'll go back to that, I just put a circle next to it rather than constantly. And again, I'm not like trying to check myself with how much I'm writing. This is really as much as I do on a daily basis, unless it's like a Tuesday and I'm doing check-ins and I like to like actually write down everybody's name. But then in that scenario, like let's say this is Tuesday, right? And I need to write down everybody's name. I might, this is a blank notebook. I can just give myself more room. You know what I mean? Same thing here, whereas like, okay, let's say for everybody who turned one in. And sometimes it's helpful for me too, when I have check-ins, if I have client calls that day, I differentiate between the live check-ins and the regular check-ins where they're just doing like a voice memo and notes. I differentiate those in 2 different to-do list columns based on who has a call scheduled that day. Because I will prep their notes separately then I'm doing everybody else's. So like I'll do everybody else's check-in first and then I'll prep those call notes and then I have those calls, if that makes sense. So that I would very easily be able to do that like here. Like I could just write everybody's name down. You know what I mean? So this is very, very like open, very flexible. And again, it's undated. So there's no, like if I jump into it for a week or 2 or even a month or 2, and I'm like, okay, cool, I need something else now, then I'm going to just roll with it. And I do love these covers because they're very like thick. They're very like leatherette feeling. And I love like a nice thick notebook. And I have a cover, an A5 cover coming in the mail because I have a B6 cover that I would use just like my Moterm B6 cover at this point. That green one, because I do love the green one, but I am likely going to cover this pink up with something else, print something pretty on sticky paper. Something a little more neutral. Maybe I'll do my little, I can see myself doing like this. I love this cover. So it makes me sad that I hate this notebook because I love this image that I printed. Maybe I'll do this like on this as a cover and then get like a Midori notebook cover and then cover it. Honestly, this Midori notebook cover will probably fit on this book. Let's be real. And I have a couple of these floating around. So that's my planner update, you guys, on everything. Again, I'm just doing this more for fun. If I end up doing like a weekly setup, I'll definitely maybe record one of those because I typically do set things up once a week anyway. And in my head, it's like, it's not that hard to just record it and then post it. But sometimes it is that hard. So this is kind of how this looks. So I'll do maybe just a little bit here. So let me real quick pull up my calendar. And I actually inked up I did some of this in black, but I'm having so much fun using like a different color in my dailies right now. And so I actually inked up my TWSBI Eco Extra Fine, which is one of my favorite pens right now, with some different blue ink that my friend sent me, and I actually can't remember what kind of ink it is. So what I like to do is I like to just write my events in here. So like, what's today? Today's the 14th, tomorrow's the 15th. So I have at 7 a.m. So I'm just going to do 7 a.m. meeting with, who is my meeting with? I'm actually interviewing somebody for my team, Rosita, tomorrow. My business is growing and I'm hiring people, you guys. That's really kind of surreal. And then I have a 2 p.m. office hour. Now I typically would work out at 6 a.m. on a Monday, but because I get up at 6 and then I work out at 6:30. But because I have a 7 a.m. meeting, I will likely work out around like 8 a.m., which means I'll probably be getting up at 6 a.m. and doing a little work so I don't lose any work time. So I'm actually going to just block that out in my Google Calendar. Just because I like to see that workout. And I'll give myself from 8 to like 9:30. Just in case I decide I want to go to the big gym. If it's a later morning workout, sometimes I will just work out in my garage to save time. But I like to plan them in for accountability to myself. Workout. Wow, I love this. This washi tape is from Arch Michael. And how beautiful is this washi tape? I love the silver and gold. You guys can tell I like to mix my metals. Like I've got gold and silver, or this is white gold and yellow gold. This is silver. This is white gold. This is gold and black. This is gold and silver, right? I love to mix my metals. Okay. And then at 2, I have an office hour. So it's in the afternoon. And then at 7, I have Nat's going away party. I have a friend who's moving. And this 5 squares a day works really well because I don't normally have more than like 5 things on my calendar in a day unless it's like music lessons. But then I write those in like one, like 3 to 8 music lessons. You know what I mean? I don't write out each individual lesson. All right. So then I've got on Tuesday. All right, you guys, sorry that's cutting in and out again. My camera stopped recording. I really need to like just get a better system for like recording. Okay. So I decided instead of a 6 a.m. workout, I will get a 6 a.m. workout in on Tuesday because I will be able to be home. Her thing's at like 7 and I will probably not stay for more than like an hour. Cause I like to get up at like 5:30. Like I really do. And I can't I just got like my Monday nights back from not having like choir rehearsals every night for the next 3 months, or every Monday night for the next 3 months. So I'm going to try to take full advantage of that, especially because I'm just in a little bit of a busier season right now, with my business, and that's totally fine. Okay. So then I've got noon to 1. So, okay. So I'm going to do Tuesday, 6 a.m. workout. And let me actually zoom this in a little bit onto this planner now that it's so tiny and I'm actually writing in it. Ta-da! Oops, wrong direction. All right. There we go. I'm going to do a 6 a.m. workout on Tuesday. And then from noon to 1, I have 2 client check-ins, live check-ins, like live calls. Then at 1, I have a call with my business cohort. And then one more call at 2. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to say 1 p.m. to 2:30 calls. And I'm going to just check them off. So we're going to go, I've got Katie, and then I've got Meg, and then I've got Mackenzie. And those are my client calls. And then we're going to go, and then I have a 4% mastermind call. So I'm just going to check those off. And then I don't have anything else that night. So again, this is why it's like, it doesn't usually I don't usually exceed this amount of space. All right. Wednesday. Okay. Wednesday is my rest day from the gym usually. So usually I do a 6 a.m. coffee shop work sesh. This is where I get a lot of like my marketing tasks done for the week or any like writing or back end stuff I need to get done because I literally just go first thing in the morning to the coffee shop. I sit my ass down at one of the tables upstairs and I work for like 3 hours and I just hammer out a bunch of shit. Because I usually do my first client message sweep around like 8:30, 9 o'clock because I'm not going to message people at 6 a.m. in the morning. Like, although for some of my clients at that point, if they're on the East Coast, you know, or on that, if they're like on Eastern time, sometimes they're 2 or 3 hours ahead of me. But then it's like, if I'm sweeping for everybody at the same time. Like I'm doing my first sweep and I'm reading like all of the messages and it will pull my focus if I know I have something waiting that I saw and then I'm waiting like 2 hours to address it. So it's just easier for me. Like I do like my first sweep at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. Typically. Some days it ends up being just a little bit later, like if I have a lot of appointments in the morning or a lot of meetings first thing in the morning. And those days then I usually end up staying in a little bit late. I like do a later sweep in the afternoon just to make sure, because if I didn't talk to people early enough in the day, and that's just a thing that I do. Like if I get into my messages later in the morning, I will make sure I do a later afternoon sweep typically, unless there's like a calendar thing. But again, the way that I communicate with my clients is we are communicating every single day and they know that I'm only checking messages within certain like regular business hours. And so they already know like, hey, if they send me something after hours, I will see it in the morning and respond to them. And that's just an expectation that I set and a boundary that I set with all my clients when they start working with me, because work-life balance, man. Plus having your clients completely and totally like just reliant on you and like, it doesn't create like a healthy way for them to learn how to implement the skills that you're coaching them. If you're creating clients that are completely dependent on you, that's just not good coaching in my book. But that's my 2 cents. Okay. So 6 a.m. coffee shop. I have a 10 a.m. meeting. Again, doing interviews this week with a couple people. And then I have an 11:30 one-on-one to do case study reviews. And then I have a couple music lessons. I have only 2 music lessons on Wednesday because so many of my students are not having lessons that day. So I actually am going to write these in individually, 5:30 for Riley and 7:15 Miley. Haha, Riley and Miley are the only 2 lessons. All right, then Thursday I have a 6 a.m. workout, a 7 a.m. call, and then this is where I have lessons. I'm going to leave a middle space open just in case something comes up in the afternoon. 4:15 to 8 p.m. lessons. That's how it normally gets written in. I just have kind of a weird schedule. And then if I can make it, there's a going away party. 2 going away parties next week. Wow. Leah's party. If I can swing by there, I'm going to. It just depends on the day. Okay. And then Friday, the only thing I currently have on Friday that's scheduled, I'm scheduling in a 6 a.m. workout. So you see, I like to work out Monday, Tuesday. Wednesdays, I'm already kind of tired, mentally, because I do all my client check-ins on Tuesday. And so that's just a very communication heavy day for me. And so that just saps sort of my mental energy. And I like to then have kind of a day to recover that energy sort of midweek. And so that's why I love that quiet Wednesday morning work sesh. And I really look forward to it. Because I really do give my all on Tuesdays to my clients, as I should, as they're deserving of. And then I like to kind of recover that on Wednesdays. And so then I like to work out Thursday, Friday. Thursday mornings, though, I typically have a 7 a.m. call. So usually my Thursday morning workout is in my garage gym, because I want to be able to go do my workout, grab my smoothie really quick, and then come sit down at my desk. I don't want to have to deal with driving back and forth to the gym. So Thursdays is usually going to be in my garage gym. That's just kind of how it's working out. And then I'm going to leave this just a little bit. I have a 2 p.m. facial appointment. That's just where that fit. Fridays are usually an admin wrap-up day. So sometimes I will give myself just a slightly lighter schedule on Friday. And now Saturday, I only have one. I have a couple makeup lessons scheduled because this last week, my boyfriend was sick with norovirus, we believe. Thankfully, I did not get it, but I didn't want any of my students coming into my home while he was sick. Plus, I just wanted him to have a quiet place to rest, and didn't want a bunch of students coming in and out for the middle of the week, Wednesday and Thursday nights. And so I rescheduled everybody. But by my knowledge, I should have more than 1 lesson scheduled on Saturday. So I need to follow up with people. So before I add anything else into my calendar here on Saturday, I'm going to follow up. And I'm actually going to put this on my to-do list for Monday. This is going to be Monday. What day is Monday? The 15th. Monday, May 15th. Monday, May 15th. So I'm going to do my morning inbox check-in. Morning inbox check. I'm going to follow up lesson reschedules. And you can see here, I wrote in very light gray pen 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can keep my timeline of the day. And I'm just experimenting with that because I saw somebody online had this really light gray Statler fine liner, and they were like, I love it because it looks like pencil. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love how light this is and unobtrusive this is to the dark blue ink. And so we're gonna see if I like this or not, but I do like it for at least drawing the line. I don't know if I like it for the time, But for now, I like it. So we're going to leave it right there. And I'm not going to set up beyond that, because if something happens on Monday and I need like a little extra space, I will set up my dailies as the day goes by. So too, for example, like even this weekend, I didn't set up my Sunday timeline because I started it at 10 a.m. because I didn't sleep. I slept in. I slept in today. And so I want my timelines to be different, if that makes sense. Like I want my timeline to actually be reflective of like what my day actually looked like. And so I like to just set up my days sort of one at a time, if that makes sense. Although I don't anticipate so much happening today that I have to like, I don't know, get fussy with it and then have to like totally like come back in and, redo a bunch of stuff. So I realistically could, because I really don't see myself using more than one page a day. But what will likely happen is I will get to a point today where I'm like, oh, I need to write something down. And then I carry my pencil pouch with me all the time. This is always with me. And it has everything in it, because sometimes I do take my reading journal with me. So it's got like my washi tape, my scissors, my whiteout, my glue, a bunch of pens, some stamps, some tweezers. And I just toss this in my backpack and go. Because I'm usually either at my desk or I'm at a coffee shop or I'm at my co-working space. And that is all she wrote. That's all I'm going to set up for this week, because that's kind of the whole point of a bullet journal, right? And then here I have my my weekly like work recurring tasks, like client messages, check Voxer, Slack, sales, which is like, who do I need to follow up with? Like, did I have anybody that I followed up with that applied for coaching? Those are the things that I have to check on a daily basis. My social media, did I post? Did I get on my socials and post? Which all my stuff is usually posted in advance. So for me, like a check for socials is like one check will be, I'll do actually, because I need to update this week's. One check will be I posted, and then a finished task is I posted and talked on my stories. Right? So that, you know what I mean? And I did do my sales that day. And then I didn't do FCA Slack on Saturday and Sunday, or Voxer, because I don't do that stuff on the weekends. But I will, and I don't usually do a lot of sales on the weekends too. So that's usually only like an as needed check. And then I need to catch up on my end of day reports, clearly, because I didn't do those at the end of this week. So I'll probably do those tonight. Okay. So that's my planner update and a little tiny plan with me of like what's currently going on. I'm going to just hang out in this book until I start to feel the need or get antsy for something else. But given all of the updates that have happened within my business lately and just all of the potential changes that kind of need to be made, I'm going to hang out in here for a while, especially because too, like I have some trips coming up next month. And then I just have to, in the back, I just have like a little tiny like passport notebook. I like this notebook because it has some perforated pages. This is from Moleskine. This has some perforated pages. So if I need to write something down or rip it out, I can. And then in the back, I just did a little pen test, did some washi tape swatches where I got them from, because I just was excited, did another little pen test. And, you know, sometimes I do that from like the back forward, and then eventually one day I'll meet in the middle. But so far, I love this paper from Planner Monkey Co. It's a really great notebook, and that's where we're at. So until next time, so we'll see if I end up doing another updated plan with me this coming week. I'm hoping to maybe get back into it, because I think that if I just kind of stay on top of it weekly, it can just be a fun little creative outlet that's not necessarily something that's related to my work or work metrics, which is really nice, because so much of my social creation is for my business and my marketing, which I do love, don't get me wrong, but you need to have something else that's just for funsies. You know what I mean? Just for funsies. All right, you guys, that is it. Till next time. See you later.